Good evening, everyone. This is the Dundee Township Trustees regular meeting for Wednesday, December 16th, 2020 at 7 p.m. I am going to read the following notice. This meeting of the Dundee Township Board of Trustees will be held via telephone conference call / video call in accordance with the Illinois Governor's executive orders and disaster declarations regarding COVID-19 pandemic. The public had the opportunity to receive access to this meeting by looking on the website, by email, or by telephone. The governor signed Senate Bill 2135 into law, which addresses electronic meetings during time periods when the governor has issued a disaster declaration like the situation we are in now. Pursuant to this law, the Dundee Township Board of Trustees meeting will be conducted via audio and video conference without a physically present quorum, because of this disaster declaration. Pursuant to this law, I, Patricia Glees, have determined that an in-person meeting at the township building with all participants is not practical or prudent because of the disaster. Township officials, legal counsel will not be physically present in the township building. As provided by law, and all votes will be by roll call. Bob, can I ask you to please do the roll call?
Okay. Physically present, no one but myself. We're attending remotely. Supervisor Glees.
Present.
Trustee Harney.
Present.
Trustee Aherns.
Here.
Trustee Johnson.
Here.
And Trustee Schaffer.
Here.
Seeing that we have a quorum, we will continue. Richard, would you please do us the pleasure of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Right. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the flag of the
United States
of America and to
and
the
to the republic
for which
for which it stands,
one
nation,
under
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for
for
all.
all.
May I just say, we are getting really good at that. Okay. Thank you, Richard. With that, I am looking for a motion to approve or amend the agenda as presented. I need a first.
So moved, Johnson.
And I got Trustee Aherns as a second. Do we have any comments about the agenda? Do I have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I am going to now do a roll vote. Trustee Aherns?
Yes, aye.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Ken, I can't hear you.
Okay, I didn't hear my name, so yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ken. I'm sorry. I'll go slower. Is that an aye? You approve the agenda?
I
Thank you
approve.
very much. All right, that is a quorum. Let us move on. I am looking for a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the November 18th, 2020 Board of Trustees regular meeting. It can either be amended or approved as presented. I need a first and a second.
So moved. Harney.
I have Trustee Harney. Do I have a second?
Johnson.
I have Trustee Johnson. Thank you very much. Do we have any discussion?
I did have a couple of questions. The first is in relation to the PTEL hearing and levy at 120%. We actually took a vote on that. It wasn't a consensus, but I would like those documented as far as ayes and nays towards that vote for the PTEL for our levy. That would be the first one. And then the second one, I would like to see the discussion on salaries placed in the order that they were presented at the meeting. And the benefits were excluded off of the minutes. So especially like the Board of Trustees, which we said would include reimbursement for meetings and things along those lines, or the state, I think the benefits need to be included in the minutes also. But if we could reorganize that into the items that we discussed in a fashion, that would be my preference.
Did we talk about the benefits in detail like that? I mean, the minutes are supposed to reflect what actually happened. I don't
Right.
recall talking about the benefits in detail. I just remember talking about them
So
as benefits.
we did, because on the trustee salaries, they did not include any of it. And there's potential to be new trustees on board. And right now, it looks like they get $100 a meeting. If they go downstate, they don't get reimbursed. If they attend a meeting for Torma, it's not included. So it was discussed that the trustees would be compensated just like any of the other elected officials based on that. They had no other benefits for that, but even for the other elected officials, it looks like you get a salary and that's it.
So, okay, Ken, yes, we did discuss that because we talked about how we can't change the benefits for elected personnel once we have that salary ordinance in place, and all the wording is within the salary ordinance. You want to see that reflected in the meeting minutes also, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. So that was discussed, that is amend that to the meeting minutes. Okay. I will then, did you have any other, Ken?
No, it was just the PTEL. I would like to see those votes reflected in there, and I would like to see that other discussion regarding compensation in the order.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I now need a first and a second to approve the amended minutes.
So moved.
I have
Schaffer.
Trustee Schaefer as the first. Do I have a second?
Second, Aherns.
I have Trustee Aherns as a second. Now let's go with the full vote for the minutes as amended to include the roll call vote for PTEL and to include the benefits of the the benefits for the trustees that states, which is in the ordinance, but states they get expense reimbursements for training and such. All right, starting Trustee Schaefer.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Harney.
Yes.
Trustee Aherns.
Aye.
And Supervisor Glees is an aye. That passes. God bless you. I am now looking for a motion to approve or amend the treasurer's report through November 30th, 2020, and the financial statements through December 15th, 2020, and a review of bank statements. Richard,
Excuse me.
Aaron,
Excuse me,
Sorry.
Madam Chair, you
Yeah.
only passed the
I
motion to
only-
amend. You didn't pass the amended minutes.
sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to call roll call for the amended minutes. I'm very sorry about that. Trustee Schaefer,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Harney,
Aye.
and Trustee Aherns,
Aye.
Supervisor Glees, aye. Okay, now that motion carries. Now I'm looking for a motion to approve or amend the treasurer's report through November 30th, 2020, and the financial statements through December 15th, 2020. And Trustee Aherns, would you please pull a bank statement?
Let's go Road and Bridges, Money Market 0715.
241753.68.
I
Do you,
agree.
do you concur? Thank you.
Sure, okay.
Do we have any discussion?
We need a
Seeing-
motion first, or did we have a motion? I didn't.
Oh,
hear.
I'm sorry, I do. I need a first and a second motion.
Move to approve, Harney.
And do I have a second?
Second. Aaron,
I have Richard. Okay. Any discussion? Still hearing no discussion. Trustee Harney,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
No discussion. Oh, aye.
Thank you. Trustee Aherns,
aye.
Trustee Schaefer,
Aye.
and Supervisor Glees is an aye. That motion carries. We're going to move into the reports. I see Mr. Kios there. I'm going to have him unmute. And would you like to give us a report, sir?
Certainly. Excuse me, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Great, good, nice to see you. I think this is the first time I get to see me too. That's not so good, but nice to see all you, Madam Supervisor and trustees. I'm Chris Caius, County Board member for District 23, live in Algonquin. And on a personal note, I'm humbled and gratified to announce that I was elected by the board, the Kane County Board, to be the president of the Kane County Forest Preserves for the next 2 years. So, and that vote was last week. And I look forward to working with you not only as the board member for District 23, but as the Kane County's president for the Kane County Forest Preserves for the next 2 years. There's been, of course, we just got elected, so there's a lot of big change down there at the county with the new, with our new board. There's too many supervisors and things like that. Our new board chairwoman, Corrine Pirog, and we just had the most recent of our CAC, the CARES Act Allocation Committee meetings this afternoon, in which I can announce that there's a lot of figures flying around, but I think we still have $43 million remaining to distribute of the $92 million originally, but we're right on track to have it distributed or allocated by the end of the year and distributed. I guess we can distribute it into the beginning of next year. So as long as the paperwork is done, there'll still be checks going out, maybe even until February. There were $370,000 remaining in the first round of business grants that were allocated. And I think all of the municipalities have gone out. There's a few checks that haven't been paid, but I think they've come out, they are out okay. Did the township receive their? Not
No,
yet.
that's one of my questions. Did the CARES team, I know that the money was being allocated via the state's attorney's office. I know there was a change there. But I haven't heard, I haven't gotten my first round, which would be March through August. And I know, they're still working with my receipts for September through December, which December hasn't ended yet. But any idea when we're gonna get our first check?
We do not, there is no fixed time. I know that they're working through them. If you have, they advise us that if you haven't heard anything, it's good, because they will be asking questions if they are missing anything. But to take the time out to answer the questions about how things are going would take a lot of time, because there's a lot of people that are receiving grants. So
Okay.
I hate to guarantee anything, as you know, this is the government, but it's good news if you haven't heard anything, because that means that they should have everything they need, and they're just working through the vetting process.
Okay.
I know the municipalities have received all of their checks. Carpentersville and Algonquin have gotten theirs. So you guys should be close behind within the next week or two. The round one businesses, like I said, round one of the business grants, 700 or 370,000 K remaining that still has to be applied for. We started round two. It's a much simpler application process, and that application process closed today at noon. It's actually oversubscribed because it was much easier to apply. That was for $25,000, and there's a long list. But even though it's oversubscribed, that they were taking in chronological order as they were received. There's still a chance that even if you're late, if the business was late on the application process, they can still receive money because there are a number of applications that didn't pan out. Like the sheriff was getting a special vehicle that would, but it can't be delivered by the end of the year. So there's another $650,000 that came back in. The health department has over $1 million that they didn't use that's going back in. It'll be reallocated. And just today they announced that the process will be to take that money that's coming back from those few items, or those items, which I think went into the millions of dollars, and put it on some into the wages for the county, and then the remainder to the businesses. So there was a really long list. As I recall, it was about $10 million applied for $6 million allocated, but we may get a couple, $3 million back that we can put into that and make that better. And part of that may be coming back from the amusement parks. We allocated, let's see, my phone shut off. We allocated a bunch of money to amusement parks and music venues, larger ones like the Hammond. And there were only 6 applications, I think it was. So there's another $400,000 coming back from that. So the process is underway. We will have a special board meeting that we're going to be approving the allocations for the businesses next Monday at 9:45 a.m. You might want to listen to that. Our next CAC meeting, the CARES Allocation Committee, will be on the 28th. And as I mentioned, the checks may be coming in as late as February, even though everything is applied for. And the business will receive a notification that, and I believe you will, once the check is ready, you'll be receiving a notification by email that the check has been cut and it's ready. In your case, you may have to go pick it up for larger checks, but we're talking about email or mailing checks for the remainders of for the business applicants up to the $25,000. And the good news, you may have heard that we got our first vaccines in at Sherman Hospital this morning. So the process has started. Hopefully, we'll have many more shipments coming soon to stem the tide of the COVID. And I think that's it, unless you have questions. I hope I can answer them. I'm not on the CAC committee, so I don't have specific answers, but I can certainly hunt it down.
Trustees, are there any questions?
No questions,
Yes.
but congratulations, Chris. On your
Congratulations,
Thank you.
election. Congratulations.
It's good news.
Yeah,
Like your
looking forward to
comments in
working
the
with you
paper
guys.
today, too.
I'm sorry.
Like
Was
your
that-
comments about trees in the paper today, too.
Is that in the Herald?
Yes.
I'll have to look that up. Great.
Okay,
Thank you. Been an honor
Alright.
to present this evening.
great. Seeing no other comments, I'm going to mute Mr. Kiles. And I am going to ask Mr. Setz to unmute himself and give us the 708 Mental Health Board report.
Thank you, Supervisor Glees. 708 Mental Health Board met last week. We reached two important milestones. One was approval of the levy for the coming fiscal year. The second milestone was approving a one-year plan, which we will do our best to execute over the fiscal year. It includes awarding service contracts, which is really a big part of what we'll be doing over the next year. A goal of expanding and enhancing existing services, educating the community about access to mental health, as well as the purpose of the 708 Mental Health Board, and begin to seek alternative funding sources as well, whether that's from private foundations or other government entities to bolster services in Dundee Township. When we begin meeting again in January, I should also note that our meeting schedule, even though under the statute, we only have to meet once a quarter, that we will be meeting monthly throughout 2021 to put our plans in place and ensure that services are delivered to the residents of Dundee Township. So beginning in January, we will begin working on a process to request for services within the community and probably begin awarding contracts, I'm guessing, towards the second quarter of the fiscal year. That's all I have for now, Supervisor Glees.
Does, trustees, do you have any questions?
Trustee Schaffer, I tried to go out and look at the meeting from your meeting last week on video, and it wasn't yet posted. So did you actually do a budget for the upcoming year, or did you just do a levy? And I guess that's my main question, but I was anxious to look at your video to look at your plan, but I couldn't get access to that.
Mr. Stutz, before you answer that, we're having a slight problem with the video feed, getting it up on the website. So it should be up by Friday.
Okay, and then second, I mean,
Well,
secondarily in your November-
and Mr. Stutz, go ahead and answer the question about the budget versus the levy.
Sure. So in terms of how we anticipate funds being allocated in the next fiscal year, it's the board's desire to ensure that the bulk of the funds are devoted to providing services to the residents of Dundee Township. In addition to that, we have a placeholder in there to hire a person who we've discussed, although we have not made any final determination, probably along the lines of a caseworker, as we've identified continuity of services and linking people up with the appropriate services as a significant gap within the Dundee Township area. This has been well noted, particularly by the police chiefs within the township. The remaining parts of the budget, we anticipate, potentially, some commodity expenses, legal expenses, and the potential for some capital outlay as well, depending on how we want to, or where we would want the services provided. I think one of the things that the board is thinking about right now is it would probably be best to have centralized as best as possible the services that are provided to the residents of the township. And that would necessitate a physical location naturally. That would be the logical conclusion. We haven't moved beyond that principle at this point, but it was, we thought it was wise that we would carve out some resources to do that, should that need be identified clearly in further discussions by the board. I hope that answers your questions, Trustee Schaefer.
Yeah, so I was just hoping to see a more detailed budget than what just the levy, but
Yeah, unfortunately, at this point, I mean, we've been meeting, since, what is it, July or August? I forget when our first meeting was. We've been moving as quickly as possible, given the constraints imposed by the pandemic, and bringing people up to speed on the legislation and making them aware of what services are available in the surrounding communities and how other 708 boards operate. We haven't had the opportunity to dive into the budget in any great detail. We will begin those discussions in January. We were under a bit of a constraint here where we needed to provide the levy information, and the legislation clearly indicates that we need to provide a 1-year and a 3-year plan. So we've got the 1-year plan in place. We intend to begin work on the 3-year plan and the budget beginning in January, and I was going to begin to focus on the specific types of services and the priorities for those services within the township beginning next year. So I hope, Trustee Schaefer, that we can provide more detailed information on budgetary issues in the coming months.
okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for the
All right.
question. Appreciate it.
Any more discussion? Okay, seeing that. Thank you very much, Mr. Sykes. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to mute, or I'll mute you, and we will move on. I'm going to read a email from Highway Commissioner Sinnett, who apologizes that he cannot be at this evening's meeting. This is the following is a brief summary report for December 2020. This past month has been the usual maintenance of the facilities. We have been doing signage checks on the roadways, and we have also noted some signage needed for the new Long Meadow portion from Route 25 to Bolts Road. The road crew continues to make sure roads are staked in preparation for the snow removal season, as well as the continued brush trimming along the road so the trucks may clear them. We do have one truck prepared to be listed for bid this month. I can't have you give me any discussion because I have no answers for you. So with that, let's move on. Mike, can you hear us?
Yeah, you froze there for a minute.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, the assessor's office, not a lot new right now. Weather's been good. We've been out to the field a little bit, in and out of the office, no more than 2 people usually at a time. Not a whole lot going on right now, just pulling in permits. I am contacting some of the municipalities and sending out a friendly reminder for them to forward their permits to either the county or the assessor's office, however they do it. And that helps us identify any additions, new property, things like that. There's been some hiccups with some of the municipalities, changeover of people. So we need to keep on top of that information to keep the process going and keep those assessments fair. That's about it. Things will start ramping up in January. Some of our sales ratio studies and so forth coming from the community. That's about it.
Okay. Any questions for Assessor Bielak? Okay, thank you very much. The open space report, you guys got a copy of it. Couple things. that were listed, that Kirby wanted everybody to note that Raceway Woods and Jelke Creek is seeing increased usage. We're doing, we are keeping up with the garbage removal, et cetera. He gave some photos. They were preparing for prescribed burns, and they've done a couple. They did some burns at Dixie Briggs. Those were successful. And so there's pictures of those burns on there. And that's about, they're still doing the brush and tree removal, throughout everything. So that it can open up the prairie habitat areas. Library Springs is getting underway. There hasn't been a burn there. They're trying to get a burn there, but they've been moving out a lot of the buckthorn and honeysuckle. And Wahoo Woods is in good condition. It's prepped as best as possible for winter. Should any of the kids, use it, or parents go there, it's been, any kind of dead trees, everything's been cleared out. On icky days, they've been getting the weatherizing gear ready, because how the farm gets very cold, so they've been getting ready for that. And they're starting to look at what signs we have in existence for replacement. And that's about it. Any questions on the open space board report?
Johnson.
Go ahead.
Trish, did you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, a bridge washed out at Dixie in the spring floods and rainstorms.
Yep.
And a personal acquaintance of ours noticed this while hiking in Dixie and commented that he could give us a very, very attractive price on replacing that bridge because he's an out-of-work carpenter at the time being. And so the question is, would you be interested in getting an estimate on that? And if so, how would we proceed, or how would he proceed?
Can you give him my contact information at the office?
Would I?
Yeah, would you please give him or if you want to send me an email with his contact information, I'll call him. But yeah, give him my contact information, and he can quote out the materials, and the design.
You would tell him about any special requirements, insurance or whatever.
Yep, exactly. And there on that part, there's a design requirement. It's got to go. It can't be flat across the creek. It's got to go up and over. I don't know how, so that if debris gets caught, it doesn't take the bridge out again.
Okay, I will just give them your contact info.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Take it from there.
Okay, I will do that.
Thanks.
I do want to, although Highway Commissioner Sinnett's not here, Highway Commissioner Sinnett, yesterday or the day before, because Monday, unfortunately, 2 deers got tangled up in some nylon roping, and then died in the creek. Now, it was outside our property at Dixie, but he needed access to the gate. So he got access to the gate to get the deers out of the creek, and then the deers went somewhere. I don't know where, but the deers are no longer in the creek. So the residents are now happy with that. Okay.
Aherns, my congratulations to Kirby. Very good report.
He does, yeah, when you guys get to read the full breadth of his report, I'm just hitting the highlights here, so, very good. Okay, with that, can I get a quick cemetery update, as I know that, it's Christmas time and the wreaths and the decorations.
Okay. They have been very busy with burials over the last month, much higher rate than normal, unfortunately. We're in a bit of a quiet spell, but in the interim, they have been putting out the wreaths. We sold out with 175 wreaths last year. We upped it to 190 this year, and we've already sold out about a week ago on those wreaths. Still fighting the battles with the creative individuals who are trying to outdo each other with the height of their homemade markers and the solar lights and the flashing candy canes and other things, but trying to keep that as much under control as we can.
Any questions about the cemetery? Okay. Trustees, do you have any reports? Okay. And so my report, I have been attending every other day COVID reports from the state of Illinois. It's hopefully this vaccine is able to push out faster than I can hope, because we are just being it's just not working. So the one thing I'm supposed to remind everybody is wash your hands, wear a mask, and if you have to go out, be 6 feet apart at all times. Okay, that's the public service announcement. From the residents' perspective, they are hurting. We are getting inundated with calls. There still is a moratorium on eviction, so nobody can be evicted. Gas and electric cannot be shut off. And water cannot be shut off, but all of the villages are now enacting what I'm going to call, they're all late fees. So they're making them pay whatever late fees. I'm seeing requests anywhere from, on the low end, $250. On the high end, I've had somebody actually call my office today, and it has a, the rent is now $6,000 in the arrears. And there is nobody, the township can't help with something that large, and there's no other partners. So I have reached out to Kane County, and I'm hoping to get a phone call back, because my biggest concern, and this is in regards to the CARES Act money, the township is not going to start to see, I mean, we're seeing people now, but the breadth of the people are going to start hitting us March, April, May. And we're not going to be prepared for them. The municipalities aren't going to be prepared for them. Nobody's going to be prepared for them. So I'm trying to see, of my second half request of the CARES Act, how can I have some of that in reserve to help those people in need with emergency assistance? Otherwise, things are moving forward. We did, we'll see later in there, we've got the meeting schedule and the holiday schedule to approve. Otherwise, it's just a moving forward at a slow gain. Does anybody have any questions directly for me?
Yeah, I do, about the potential homeless problem we're going to have,
Mhm.
or the likely homeless problem we're going to have. Can we use the CARES money to directly pay people's rent in those larger cases?
Yes, so that's part of it, is I can go over, I can make decisions that go over the normal emergency assistance request if they qualify. The problem is, if I were to get, in reality, a couple, 10, 5,000, even $2,000 bills, we're going to run out of CARES money quickly. We do have the authority to pay people's mortgages. But like, I had somebody who came in, who called in, has just lost their job within the last 30 days. Their mortgage, right now, they're behind by 3 months, and their mortgage was $1,500 a month. And, so we're talking $4,500. And I mean, they just, they're just doing the best they can, hopefully mortgage companies, and hopefully the evictions will stay long enough. But there's a flip side to that, because, and the renters, if they're not able to pay their rent, then the landlords are going to be, coming to us, and the landlords are just as susceptible, if not more susceptible, as far as loss of money. So this is really a cascading problem. We can be, and we are going into winter. Now, in the past, I've worked with Carpentersville, in the case of ice storms and snowstorms, to get people off the street. Our known homeless that live in their cars. However, with COVID, we don't have that opportunity. So I have made I have an agreement with a new extended stay, the old Marriott, behind Alexander's, and that Thornton's turned into an extended stay. So I do have an agreement. I have an agreement for nightly costs, that we can put people in there with like a small kitchenette, refrigerator. We would then be able to supply them any kind of food that we have in the food pantry. So at least we know that they're safe, they're warm, and we can give them food. Any other questions? Okay, seeing that there's none, is there an office manager report?
No.
Okay, and is there an attorney report?
No reports tonight. Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you very much. Let us now move on to public comments. And I do have a written public comment that I'll read at the end. Public comments, or public comment or questions, please limit them to 3 minutes per person. We will give everybody an opportunity to speak. When I state the last 3 digits of your telephone number or your name, if I know it, please either say you'd like to give a report, or you'd like to make a comment, or no comment at all. All right, so with that, I'm going to start with the first person, and that is, one other thing. If you can't unmute yourself, it's *6 to unmute. The first person we're going to start with is, their number ends in 122. I've just asked you to unmute.
No comment at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and remute you. My next one is 711. 711, would you please unmute yourself?
No comment tonight, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp. My next one is number 859. 859, please unmute yourself.
No comment, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. McCray, I'm asking you to unmute. Do you have a comment for us?
No, nothing from me. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and mute you. And Ms. Keebler, I'm asking you to unmute. Do you have a comment for us? June, do you have a comment? Okay. I will get back to June if she lets me know that she has a comment. All right. So this is from Mr. and Mrs. Huffer. Mr. Huffer was on the call last month, but was unable to wait for public comments to make his public comments. So I will read them to you. These will also, since they are written, will be in the minutes. Good day to you all. Please let me begin by stating that I removed myself from the virtual meeting on 11/18 due to time restraints on my side. I apologize for taking more time now after the meeting. We live at our residence for over 10 years, and only in the last 2 years or so has the trimming of the landscape around our property become an issue. Last year, the township, I'm sorry? Oh, last year, the township got aggressive cutting in our living privacy fence helps in appreciation, and the thinning out what once was a privacy barrier, one of the reasons we purchased the home. It does add value to our home and curb appeal. Branches and the tree limbs are ripped, not cut clean. Bark is ripped and limbs are hanging. It appears the blade was not sharpened or was not reshaped. All the debris is left for the homeowner to clean up. The township did, after much ado, make an attempt at cleaning up, but we still had to finish the cleanup ourselves. When we did complain, we were told by Scott this should be good for several years. The next week at 7 a.m., we had 3 township workers come out to stump all of the roots so that nothing would grow back. We had another round of discussion, and I also sent pictures to the board at that time. 3 workers, 2 stood by while the stumper did the work. To a passerby while 1 worker had the stumper overhead of the bobcat. I have not seen any other properties being stumped beside ours. Please advise if I'm wrong. So again, 2 weeks ago, another worker was back with the circular blade cutting in the front bushes again. I had an issue with the worker. We had words because of the ripping, not trimming of the bushes, and how much more they planned on trimming. My wife was also present. When the worker got back to the shop, he told untruths to Scott, and in return, he called the sheriff on me. I never looked into the allegations, just believed what I was told. The Kane County officer took both of our sides of the complaint. The officer summarized this is not a police matter and a waste of police time, and this should be resolved by communication with the township. We agree. We now feel bullied. We are senior citizens that pay taxes and feel it's disheartening when you have to battle with your own township. Adding to this, the township put in a new culvert at the back of our property last year. See attached. For everybody who's on this call, this gentleman added photos. See attached. It's been a problem since day one. The surrounding area was never leveled, so we can't mow it. It now diverts water to run to the back of our yard and has caused ruts that are difficult to ride over with our mower and is eroding the soil every time it rains because causing our bushes to die. I did address this at a past meeting and Scott said he would follow up. No communication. My wife did run into Scott one day in the neighborhood in early summer and asked about the issue. And Scott promised this would be taken care of by the end of this past July. Nothing has happened. Poor communication. And last year when we had our first deep snowfall, Ridgewood, which borders the north side of our property, wasn't plowed. For some reason, it became a question whether plowing would continue even though it has been done for years. Luckily, another neighbor took the reins and did get a commitment that Ridge Road would be plowed. She spent much time and ended up having to contact Kane County folks to be sure it would not be an issue this year. No forewarning or any communication on that either. The issue of the bushes in the culvert may seem trivial to you, but this is our home and we take pride in. Every time the township comes out, we fear that what they will do next. We do have neighbors that are also concerned about the trimming at their properties and how it's an eyesore. No one likes to come home to see landscapes destroyed and debris to clean up. We understand it can't be the way we want, but we would hope for some compromise and communication. Thank you for your time on this matter. I can elaborate on any of the above if needed. Sincerely, Mr. Huffer. All right. Seeing that there is no other participants that would like to speak, I am just going to see if Ms. Keebler would like to unmute herself and make a comment. Okay. June, do you have a comment? Okay, I'm not hearing
Can I
any.
make a suggestion? Perhaps,
Yes.
because it looks like she wants to, if somebody has a comment, it can always go in the chat room as well.
Yes, you can go ahead and chat it and I'll see it pop up and I'll let you back in. Okay. With that, I'm going to close out public comments and on to new business. In front of you is the review, discussion, and approval of the town meeting schedule for 2021.
So moved, Schaefer.
I need a second, please.
Second, Harney.
Thank you very
Second,
much.
Johnson.
George, thank you. I got Sue first. Do we have any discussion on that?
Are there any issues worthy of note?
Not that I know of. We're not on any holiday. There's no holiday. And as Mr. Setz had said, the 708 board has already put their dates in place for the 2020 year. Those are on the calendar and those dates were in the notes or in their meeting minutes. But there is, for ours, we have no holidays or anything like that to juggle. Okay, seeing no discussion, let's start the roll call. Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Harney.
Aye.
Trustee Schaefer.
Aye.
And Trustee Aherns.
Aye.
All right, and Supervisor Glees is an aye. That passes. Now I need a first and a second motion to review, discuss, and approve the township holiday schedule for 2020.
So moved, Schaefer.
I have Trustee Schaefer. Do I have a second?
Johnson.
I have Trustee Johnson. Okay, so in front of you are the holiday schedule. As you know, the road district takes off. They switch one day with us. Bob, what's the day they switch? for the life?
They take Veterans Day and they work New Year's Eve.
Thank you. And then the assessor's office, they follow the schedule plus counties.
Correct. So they have two additional days, I believe.
Right. Mike, are you still on the, can you comment on that, right? It's 2 additional days?
No, we have the same schedule.
Okay.
We were off by 1 day. We switched it back to what you have. The county
Okay.
has both Monday and Friday off, President's Day and whatever, but we're going with what you got.
Okay, perfect. All right, any more discussion on that? All right, seeing no discussion. Trustee Aherns,
Aye.
Trustee Harney,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
and Trustee Schaefer.
Aye.
Okay, and Supervisor Glees is an aye. That passes. The next one is, I have to find this document, sorry. I need a motion to review, discuss, and approve of ordinance 2020-006, the renaming of Algonquin Road to Sandbloom Road. May I have a first and a second?
So moved, Johnson.
Okay, I heard George first. So Trustee Johnson, and do I have a second?
Second, Harney.
All right, Trustee Harney. Is there any discussion about this?
Just a question, because that Algonquin Road section, is that also related to like Williams Road in the Algonquin area? So will Williams Road still exist, or is it just Sandbloom from 62 down to that intersection?
Excellent question, Ken. No, so Algonquin and Carpentersville have already changed, quote unquote, their portions of Algonquin Road, which is Williams Road. They've already approved an ordinance and have changed it to Sandbloom. We have a half a mile of road, and this is just our half mile.
So there will be no Williams Road left, or, I mean, it.
Correct.
So there's been 3 names. So Williams Road will be gone, it'll be Sandbloom, and there'll be no Algonquin south of 62.
South of
Correct.
60. Yes.
So I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to turn myself around, Ken. Yeah, you're right.
I want to make sure we're making it simpler, not more complicated. So I support
Right.
that.
So, Bob, do you want to give a quick update on why GIS gave us a call on this?
Well, it's just simply that even though common usage, that was all pretty much referred to as Sandbloom Road, the GIS mapping group can only go by the legal descriptions that are contained in the Kane County Recorder's Office. So under that language, the Williams Road still existed and Algonquin Road was still being used. So it interfered with, or had the potential to interfere with 911 calls or some other delivery services that base their action on the GIS maps. Because if somebody said it's on Sandbloom, Sandbloom was not shown on the GIS maps. It was either Williams or Algonquin Road.
Okay. Is there any other questions on this ordinance? Any other discussion?
I assume the sign changing will be our responsibility.
It's already been done according to the highway department. They've already changed them.
Yeah.
I think that was done under Larry's regime, not even Scott. So, yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is an old issue.
Okay. Saying no discussion. Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Schaefer,
Aye.
Trustee Aherns,
Aye.
Trustee Harney,
Aye.
Supervisor Glees is an aye. That's 5. The motion passes. All right. On to old business. The presentation and review of slides in the breakdown of expenses for fiscal year 2021. Could everybody bring up their pie charts? Are there any comments, questions, or changes?
Yes,
Is that you, George?
that's George. Just a clarification on the personnel expenses. We have a category for elected officials. A category, for example, for assessor. I presume that the category assessor would not include the assessor's salary.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
And I just want,
I'm sorry you cut out, Chris.
I'm sorry. When you look at the pie chart for total expenditures through December 2020, do not be fooled by the social services. That it says it's only 10%. That is because, for the first, up until October, from March through October, we weren't paying any bills because no bills were coming in, no EA cases, only the monthly GAs. So that number, although it looks low, it is, but come 2021, we're going to get nailed. And so just want everybody to be aware of that. Are there any other questions on the pie charts? Do you all like this presentation? Do you want Bob and I to continue to present this?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, good. All right, then let's move on. I am looking for a review, discussion, and vote on ordinance 2020-004 and an ordinance approving the township property tax levy for 2020, property taxes payable in 2021. I need a first and a second motion.
Move to approve the levy for 2021.
I have Trustee Harney. Do I have a second?
Second, is this the 2020-004?
That is correct, the 2020-004. Do we have any questions on this? Discussion?
Trustee Schaffer, on one of the spreadsheets that came out, my impression is that this includes the 708 board as part of the township board.
Correct.
But that was not reflected on the spreadsheets that were handed out.
Okay.
So I got the estimated revenues and levies for all funds. I don't believe it was listed on that, or I didn't print the last page, but it had the road and bridge, it had the others, but I didn't see the town board as part of that, but it is included in the levy portion. Is that correct?
Well, it was on the spreadsheet called Estimate of Levy, Dundee Township. Under General Assistance, there was a line for spelling out the 708 Mental Health Board levy as it was adopted by their board, and then a summary page with the township and GA, the 708 Mental Health Board, and then a total for those two, which match the totals here on the ordinance.
Right. So Ken, that was on page 2. Yeah, that was page 2, and road and bridge was page 3. So so
no, that's on the levy itself. I was talking about the spreadsheets that were provided separately. the projected year-end revenue,
Oh,
estimated revenue for 2020 levy,
Okay.
all funds.
yes, yeah,
That's the one
you're
we're
right.
using.
Yeah. The
And
708
I
board
just,
not included on that.
Right,
Actually,
because-
it is included on that because I have a copy here. I have the first, it's on 2 pages, but it's the estimate of levy, Dundee Township 2021, and the town fund, the assessor, the cemetery, there's a total, general assistance. On the second page, which I'm going to hold up right here, I see the mental health board, and I see all the levy, the levy numbers that are on the actual ordinance. So I think it is on here.
Well, yeah, it is on there, Sue, but he's talking about it was a separate spreadsheet in the original packet that went out on Monday called Estimate of Revenues for the
Right.
2020 levy. And I did not have the information, so I did not put the 708 board on that document.
Okay, but we got it.
It's
Where
on
did
the
I get-
estimate of levy, but it's not on the estimate of revenues.
I see. Okay. Got it.
So, but just so that, everybody, just so you understand, and, so even though the 708, just like the general assistance fund, those are locked box funds. They can't be used for anything other than those 2 funds. Kind of like the same way the open space referendum money could only be used for open space. So even though it shows up in that total levy, that is a lockbox. So, if you're the actual quote unquote general fund or the operation of the township, which would include the supervisor, the assessor, and the cemetery and open space, that's the total general town fund on page 1. And that would be $1.3 million. Yeah, $1.3 million. So just to keep, truth and taxation.
Graham.
Sorry about that. All right, do we have any other discussion? Okay, hearing no other discussion, I am going to call the roll.
Do we have a motion yet?
Yes, Trustee Harney was first and Trustee Johnson was second.
Okay.
So I am now looking for approval of ordinance 2020-004, the ordinance approving the township property tax levy for 2020, property taxes payable in 2021. Trustee Aherns.
Aye.
Trustee Harney.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Schaffer.
aye.
And Supervisor Glees is an aye. That is 5. That motion carries. I am now looking for a motion to review, discuss, and vote on ordinance 2020-005, an ordinance approving the road district property tax levy for 2020, property taxes payable in 2021. I need a first and a second, please.
First, Johnson.
I have Trustee Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second, Harney.
And I have Trustee Harney. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, seeing no discussion, I will read the ordinance for the levy for the Dundee Township Road District is $1,821,199.00. I am going to call the roll. Trustee Schaffer,
Aye.
Trustee Harney,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Ayers,
Aye.
and Supervisor Glees is an aye. That motion passes. Thank you very much. Moving on. A review, discussion, and approval of the estimate of revenues to support the 2020 property tax levies. Bob, do I have to vote on that since we've
Well,
already?
the question for Kurt, I don't know if we formally have to or not.
That's really more required at the appropriation stage. We do the estimate of the levy, but the estimate of the expected revenues is, we don't have to vote on that right now. That's more of a part of the budget and appropriation ordinance.
Okay. All right, so that is that document that's called Dundee Township as estimate of revenues. Other than we will be putting in the 708 board, is there any comments, questions on those pages? I'm going to start with you, Ken. Do you have any comments?
No questions.
Okay, and we will put the 708 in there. Trustee Aherns?
No.
Trustee Harney?
No.
And Trustee Johnson?
Yes, on the general assistance fund, in the 2022 projected revenue, there is a transfer from operating reserves already. Why are we doing that already?
Can you do me a favor and tell me the last 3 digits, what account number, so I can follow you?
It's 0200391.
Year to date projected, we budgeted 88,000. Bob, does it come out of operating reserves or does it just come out of the town fund?
Well, that's coming out of the town fund because we traditionally have been locked in at the 100,000 roughly on the levy, and we usually need to allocate more for meeting the EA and GA requirements. So that has to come out of the town fund. We can't.
So in English, this is not a transfer from our reserves.
There is no really the reserve in general assistance is about $20,000. So it has to come out of the town fund.
Question is what?
I'm sorry?
Is it the transfer from the general town fund?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the only question I had.
Okay. All right. So we will keep this. This will stay on for old business because we will need this for appropriation and budget time. Okay. Moving on, I am looking for a motion to to audit and approve the bills. Can I get a first and a second?
Aherns first.
I have Trustee Aherns. Do I have a second?
Second, Harney.
Trustee Harney. Okay, in front of you, Bob, we had late bills.
Yes, there are 5 late bills that were sent out today. One is from Frank's Concrete for the Highway Department. That's to patch the 75-foot trench that they had to dig up to repair the sewer for $2,400. We have a bill from Prairie Farms for the milk that is used at the food pantry for $41.46. We have 2 electric bills from ComEd for the cemetery, one for $25.43 and one for $244.87. And we have a water bill from the Village of East Dundee for the cemetery for $417.96. Total of the additions, $3,129.72. We also have a correction in that in the original packet that went out on Monday, we had a replacement monument being billed from Jim Warner Monuments. That has been changed to Cold Spring, who is the actual manufacturer of the marker. There's no difference in the price.
Do we have any questions on the bills? No question on the bills. Okay. Then I would like to call, I'm going to call the roll call. Trustee Harney,
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer,
No.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
and Trustee Aherns.
Yes.
And Supervisor Glees is a yes. The bills have been paid. I have
Supervisor Glees, now that we've done that, I have a quick question. I saw an email from you on a collision, apparently with a road and bridge district vehicle, and I didn't understand the circumstances or who's responsible financially there. Could you kind
Sure.
of give us a thumbnail on that?
Yeah. So I don't remember the date, so I'm sorry. I could pull it up if you want to know the date. An employee of the road and bridge backed into another car. They filed a claim with Torma, and Torma totaled the other person's car. We had no damage because it was the truck. But the car was an older car, so it just ended up getting totaled, and Torma paid that insurance claim to that private citizen.
So it's all settled now.
It is all settled, correct.
Thank you.
I don't know, and and Highway Commissioner Sinnett has not gotten back to me yet. I did ask, was a drug screening or drug test required? Since it was an employee driving our truck hitting another car. I don't have an answer for that yet. That is still outstanding.
There will be no bills for this incident.
Well, yeah, because our insurance, Torma paid the bill. We'll see our deductible, most likely.
Okay. That's all.
Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay. So I have two transfers. I have transfer number 7 from the cemetery fund, account 0300243. 243200 postage is over by $28. I would like to transfer 2,000. 200. Whoa. I'd like to transfer 200 from account 0300241500 maintenance of grounds. I need a motion first. I'd like to have a motion for number 7 and number 8 all at once, and then we would vote for both of them at once, if that's all right.
Okay, what's the second one that we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm gonna read you the second one right now. And then I'm gonna ask for a motion. The second one is also the cemetery fund. It is account number 0300243800. Other professional services is over by $144.56. I would like to transfer $500 from 0300241500 maintenance of grounds.
And what happened there?
This is basically the other professional services. There are two major things that go into that. One is the maintenance fee for the alarm service, which is $200 a quarter. And then the second one is the annual maintenance contract for the cemetery software to record the burials. And that went up a little more than we had expected. So we're over by the payment that we basically owe the alarm company for the last quarter.
Move to approve both transfers.
I have a motion from Trustee Harney. Do I have a second?
Second. For both of them, right?
Yes, for both of them. Any other discussion?
Postage, is that enough? $200 you're transferring over or whatever it was?
Yeah, for this one, yeah, because it's postage, and hopefully we don't have a whole lot to continue mailing out.
Okay, thank you.
I'll ask for a roll call. Trustee Schaefer,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Harney,
Yes.
Trustee Aherns,
Yes.
and Supervisor Glees. That motion passed. All right, with that, I have nothing else. All I would like to say is thank you for everybody who participated. Thank you, trustees. Sorry we did not get to do our annual Christmas card pictures. We will be sending out a final year newsletter with last year's photos. No, I am not photoshopping anybody, so I hope you like last year's. With that, please everyone have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I am now looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn with best wishes for the holidays.
Trustee
second
Johnson.
Best
I
wishes
have-
for holidays.
I have Trustee Harney. I will do the roll call to sign us out. Trustee Aherns,
Yes, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
excellent. Trustee Schaffer,
Yes.
okay. Trustee Harney
Yes, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
and Trustee Johnson
Yes, ho, ho, ho.
and Supervisor Glees. Once again, remember, please wear your mask, please wash your hands, and please stay 6 feet apart from everybody. With that, stay safe, and I will see all of you next year. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm
Merry
going to-
Christmas.
Merry
Yes,
Happy
Christmas,
holidays,
everyone.
everybody.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
I am ending the recording now.